Alright, I am Doug Moody, as most of you know. I imagine all of you know I don't have a lot of random people following me. So this is Chef Kenna. Tell them what we'll be making, Kenna. We're making noodles. Alright, we're going to start off with flour. Well, I guess we'll start off with the ingredients. We have 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of semolina flour, 2 giant duck eggs from a local farmer, a little bit of oil and egg yolks because we like it a little egg yolky, and then there's a little bit of salt we already sprinkled in there. We will start by dumping our flour into a big pile. Just leave it like that, babe. Next, we're going to dump our semolina right on top. Yep, right on top of that.
Ooh.
Nice. Now we're going to take our hands and we're going to form a big well in the middle. We're making like a volcano. Form a nice little circle that's empty in the middle. Alright, you're good.
Because there's still stuff in the way now, Dad.
Alright, well, while you're doing that, I'm going to start cracking these giant eggs.
Okay, ready.
Yeah, I have enough of these. You having fun there, kid? Glad I didn't have you crack these. Oh, that one's got a giant double yolk.
Double yolk.
So we're gonna take the fork here and mash these yolks up. Man, these eggs are pretty cold from being in the fridge.
And that one was very cold. So yeah.
Let's whisk these up really good. Dump our extra yolks in there. A little bit of oil that's in there as well. Alright, now we are going to dump our egg yolks right into our whole eggs.
What?
Right into the well.
What? Why?
Because you want to incorporate our eggs. Ooh, that's alright. We will flood the dam. Damn the flood. Beauty of it, babe. We're gonna mix it all in anyway. So what? Yeah, I should have had you make a bigger well. But then we'll slowly.
I'll make sure it doesn't get more.
It's alright. It's alright. Alright, you're good, kid. Alright, pick your arm up, kid. Well, yeah, this is not quite going as planned, but it's cooking with kids, so here we are. Alright. In theory, we would have mixed this in a little bit more slowly, but this is why we use a KitchenAid most of the time. But if you want to go ahead and start stirring it like this, babe. You don't have to hold it, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay if a little bit runs over the table. Here, I'll get a towel to wipe your hands. You start stirring. No. Yeah, that's totally.
It's good.
No, it's not good. It's totally raw egg and flour, babe. But we have to keep stirring it like this until a nice little dough forms. Start bringing our walls in a little bit.
Gotta get the wall.
Ideally, the slower you bring your flour in together into your eggs, the less clumps you'll have to work out later on. Unfortunately, this batch is just going to be, it is what it is, but with pasta, it's very hard to fail. Basically, as long as you mix your egg yolks and flour, or your whole eggs and flour, keep it moist enough, it'll come out in the end. Alright, good.
Oh my goodness.
You're being extra panicky here, babe. You're continuing to bring this together.
I might get it back.
We are just getting aggressive with this one. We are just working the eggs and the flour in together.
That's why I mess with it a little bit.
There, as we see, we're starting to get the dough to form.
What about me? They're sticking from me.
Stand up because we get some leverage in here. I feel like this dough is going to be a little lumpy, babe, but we will laminate all the lumps out later. Essentially, with pasta, the more you work the dough, the better your end result will be. Because the more you work the gluten in the flour, the more elastic it is, the better you will succeed in rolling it out.
I got some of the dough.
Man, I haven't made pasta not in a KitchenAid in a very, very long time, if you can't tell.
I want this in my mouth.
You're not, babe, you can't eat the raw dough.
What is it, raw dough?
Because we haven't cooked it yet.
It's taking a bath.
And move some of this excess out of the way. And a little bit more liquid. There's our pup in the background getting a little jealous that nobody's paying any attention to him.
Not being nice, Chewy. Not being nice. Chewy's not being nice. Oh! Oh!
Alright.
This smells so good.
It'll,
I want some.
you gotta be the strangest kid. Flour doesn't really smell good.
It smells good. Yep, it smells good. And it smells very good of that.
Well, it takes a good 8 to 10 minutes of kneading the dough. Do not eat that. The people, your friends that watch this, are gonna see you eating your raw dough. Think that you're just crazy.
No one even is my friend.
That's not true.
I have only a little bit of friends, but at this school, no friends. But Emma, she picked her nose while she's going to the future.
Yeah?
Yes, she did.
It's not. So, what is your favorite thing to eat on the noodles?
I would say this.
No. When they're cooked. Cheese?
Yes, cheese.
Cheese and butter?
Yes, cheese and butter. This is my stuff now.
Alright.
This is be with my project that I'm gonna make with you.
Alright, you keep working that for a second.
Okay. Yeah. Oh.
Dough's a little dry, so I just got my hands wet.
It's got mine wet too. Then now I'm getting sticky.
It's continuing to knead.
Getting bigger and 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 bigger. Bigger and bigger.
What we're looking for is elasticity and smoothness in the dough.
Yes, really smooth.
Thanks, Ken.
Need some more. Sorry.
Alright, now that we have a good dough ball going,
What about my sauce?
it's flour, but yeah.
Sorry.
Alright. Now, let me grab plastic wrap.
It's not even a circle. It's flat on the bottom.
Yeah, it'll get right.
I'm strong.
With that, you just take a piece of saran wrap. I wouldn't make cooking at home if it was easy. Alright, babe. We are gonna let our dough ball rest in the fridge. We're gonna let it rest about 45 minutes to an hour. If you don't rest it, it will be just a hassle to roll out. You let it rest more than 12 hours, it's gonna oxidize and brown out on you. We're gonna get cleaned up, get this in the fridge, and go throw some frisbees while it rests. Thank you.
Go for
Say it. Welcome back. McKenna's being a little shy, but our dough is fully rested. So what you're looking for with your dough resting is the little dents and little lumpy parts in your surface will kind of fill back out and it'll be a lot smoother. You can't tell because this is the rough job of hand rolling dough that we started earlier. For this next part, you're going to see more of my hands and hear me talking, but see more of McKenna's beautiful little face as she works this year. This is just a cheap little Imperia brand pasta maker off Amazon that my wife got for me. You don't need it overly complicated. It's a super simple device, but it makes it. It was a present, but it does make life a lot easier if you want to roll pasta. So we can go ahead. We're gonna lightly flour our surface.
Okay, my surface too.
Yeah, your surface too.
So I get over here, because I'm going to get some of it too. Cut it in half. Cut it in half.
You're gonna want to cut your dough into 4 chunks to make it easier to work with. You go ahead and get started. I'm hoping this dough is not a little too dry.
What is hard to do?
Here's this. Yeah, it'll be harder at first.
Thank you, Dad. Thank you. Hard to do.
Alright, as we can see, it's a little stiff when it comes right out the refrigerator. It probably doesn't help that my dough is in fact a little dry. It'll make, watch out there, it's fine. You can play in the flour later. So, you'll want to have the parents roll this part out to get it started. And then once we've got it reasonably sized where it'll fit into our machine, becomes McKenna's favorite part. Now you just feed one end into the machine while cranking. Maybe it's a little too thick still. You keep cranking. It's So the first one will be a little bit tougher, but as you work your dough, it'll get easier and easier as you fold it over and put it back through.
This is.
If at any point it's sticking to your pasta machine, you're going to want to add more flour. As lots of times the dry is too wet, or the dough is too wet. This one will be just fine. Don't worry if it tears a little bit as you're going. The process of folding it over and over and running it through is called lamination. This is what helps develop and work the glutens further, and be careful of your fingers. And gives us better, more elasticity to our dough. But as they run it through the more times, it will continue to get easier.
I think something happened while you were doing it. Oh. You break it.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
good.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you. Alright. Yeah, but ideally we don't want to pull it out of the machine and stretch it out further as you're going. That definitely makes your job a little harder. But you just want to keep folding it and feeding it through. And as that gluten develops, it'll come together a lot easier. I imagine my chef friends are just telling me that my dough is way too dry. I imagine you're not completely wrong. But it does seem to be coming together, so it'll be just fine for our dinner tonight.
Yep.
It just goes to show you that there's very little you can do and not end up with acceptable homemade pasta.
Did you send it to them yet?
No, we are literally recording it right now, babe.
No, I mean like the send our one.
Our pasta?
The other one.
Oh, the first part of the movie?
Yeah.
No. It's all gonna be one movie.
Did they form it together then?
Yep. Seem to be struggling. I probably could have planned this whole ordeal out a little better and my life would be easier for it, but here we are. I'm more of a doer than a thinker. But as you'll see, we're getting a nice smooth texture on the dough itself. Once you get a nice evenness and it stops tearing on you, we're back to just like a nice rectangle-y shape. We'll be able to start taking it down in sizes. Alright, we'll drop it down. Now, I'm not sure who I learned it from, but I learned to drop down 2 sizes. I don't know if that has something to do with making it press together better. I'm not sure, but the recipes I have from that instructor all seem to be really
Then
good.
my hand's ready.
Your hands are ready?
Not yet. Just gotta get it into here so it's good.
I don't know why it's fighting me so bad, but oh well. Alright, we will continue.
Okay.
We'll laminate it again to get our dough to hold back in one solid shape.
Why don't we do the other ones yet? Are we gonna do the other ones in this a minute?
Yep, yes we are. One word. Man, I am just not having a smooth time with this. Starting to get a little frustrated.
Yeah.
But, alright.
Ready?
So, I'm going to continue to take it down, laminating as needed. And for our use here, we're only going to take it down to the second to last last die. And take this guy. See, even if it is a little janky and a little bit hard to roll, that doesn't mean that you won't have a fine end product, as you will see here in one quick second.
Yep.
Alright.
Hold that one.
No. You want to feed it through?
Through this one?
Yeah, hold it like this. You want just the edges perfectly flat like that so that it pulls our noodles through evenly. Alright, now you want to catch them as they come out? So you put your arm behind it. Yep.
Like this.
And we lay out our janky little noodles. Kind of cut them into whatever size for our application. A couple inches of noodle is just fine. Then you, from here, just drop them in some boiling water, about 2 minutes. They cook dramatically faster than dried pasta. But then you just go ahead and repeat the steps that you've already done this far. Other way, babe. Here, you catch, I'll crank. If at any point it doesn't want to, you pinch the very corners and that will give it easier spot to grip onto, in theory.
Okay. Oh, it's getting bigger, bigger, and bigger. I can't do it.
Alright. Cut them again. And there you have it. I'm not going to make you guys sit and watch us struggle with the other 3 of these. We'll just fast forward to the next phase in the recording. Hope you guys have found this informative so far. We'll be back with the next step shortly.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed.